Hey, what's going down? So the kids are watching a movie and just sort of hanging out and doing their thing, and I am doing my second All Elite Weekend War Journal. So today was the meet and greet. Um, the kids looked amazing, as you can tell from the thumbnail. Really put in that good effort. The kids really looked the part, did their own stuff. Leo threw together the whole getup, did the makeup, all the rest of it. Veronica wanted to say hello. Awesome. Excuse me. Um, even Veronica did the eyeshadow effect to get that Britt Baker experience. The fan fest itself was okay. We didn't. Um, I didn't feel like spending a ton of money, but we got there and listened in on the Dungeons and Dragons thing for a while. Kind of took in all the sights, took a bunch of pictures. Um, had a good time, but I just felt like I didn't want to wear the kids out because tomorrow's a big day, and yesterday was a big day. There was tons of wrestling going on. Um, so we came back here after having dinner. I got to have my like Hawaii style dinner. Finding that L&L Drive-In was really something else. It even tasted like I remember L&L specifically tasting. It was just a very weird, nostalgic feeling of experiencing something that I had experienced most frequently when I was my kids' age. It's a lot to take in. Kids had pizza at a really good local pizza place where they make everything super fresh. So that was a good experience. And now we're just hanging out. Tomorrow's a big day, like I said. We have to check out at 11. Can't check in the Omni, which is a much nicer hotel that I booked a long time ago. So I'm looking forward to that. My friend Vanessa's in town, though she's always flitting out and about. We may literally only see her at the pay per view itself. And Dylan's also floating around working. Speaking of Dylan, his two parts of we watched the countdown show for the pay per view, and Veronica especially had really strong feelings about a couple of the segments, including the Hikaru Shida and Britt Baker one, which is one of the ones that Dylan worked on. So that was really cool to get to report. The good thing about those countdowns is it's really made for people like my kids. I think it was supposed to be an hour long. They cut it down to 30, which may have actually been for the best because then the kids were kind of in it more. And now they have a general feeling of why matches are happening. So I think things will mean much more to them. It's also been fun hearing Leo memorize and constantly play Judas. So Leo will know Judas. So didn't want to be a poser. That's right. And so we'll be able to sing along because that really was a powerful moment of the show yesterday. Something about being back with a packed crowd, super enthusiastic for wrestling. I think having that crowd there and that enthusiastic is really going to carry that pay per view through. The reaction to Orange Cassidy is very genuine, and intellectually, there's no way that Kenny Omega is going to lose that match, but the reaction is so strong to Orange Cassidy, it actually makes you think like they may do something like that. That's the power of wrestling too, right? Um, I thought of a new segment that I'm going to do on full disclosure, so that's very exciting as well. And then people kept sending me a flood of wrestling questions today, which I can't complain about. I was actually getting some stuff done, emailing people stuff on request, managing to do that while I was at the show. I do think tomorrow, though, for the time I am at the pay per view, I am not going to handle anybody's wrestling business. I can do that in the afternoon tomorrow, or tomorrow night late, or even Monday morning. My plan in a perfect world is I'll be able to somehow do full disclosure before we have to check out and come home. That would be amazing. I'm gonna wake up when I'm gonna wake up. I ain't even worried about setting an alarm, because I've had to do that most days, and I want. gonna practice waking me up. Uh, Veronica, the little one, she does tend to get up early, and she should probably go to sleep soon.
Okay, fine.
I do love hanging out with my kids, and this has been such a fun time. Uh, these wrestling war journals are really great for me, I have to say. Just being able to sort of wax nostalgic about the thoughts that go through my head, about the experiences I have. There's a couple of things I would do different with the AEW Fan Fests in the future, so I'm going to put them here. For instance, like watching them play Dungeons and Dragons is not interesting. It's not. Even when they banter back and forth, because the problem is the reverb on the microphone, you really can't understand most of what they're saying anyway. But I think if they either had some like kind of newer wrestlers to AEW, or even pulled up some people from the crowd that were game and they acted out instead of using figurines on the table. What's the point of that, right? Um, if they actually brought some people up and had them take the part of the figurines, dress them up a little bit as their characters. Like each one of the wrestlers, like Orange Cassidy or whoever, brought a friend of theirs who was a wrestler or a performer, dressed them up as their characters, and then they then they used them as the miniatures on the map. I think it would make it a lot more fun. I think it would make it a lot more engaging. It's just these are the kind of ideas I have. Unfortunately, that's one of my curses. If you drop me in the middle of any situation, my first thing is going to be like, how could this be better? How could this be made more fan friendly? How can this be more creative, etc., etc., etc.? I think they did a good job with how they handled the meet and greet um, in general, and some of the stuff that they had was really, really cool. I thought more picture opportunities is a great way to go. For example, having that thing where I could put the kids in that bigger thing where it looked like they were an action figure in the box, that was amazing. And they needed like five more things like that. Honestly, five more things like that. And I think it could have been really, really cool. That's the kind of stuff you got to think about. Like the ways that they're making money, that's all efficient and that's all well and good. But I think providing as much entertainment as possible to have as many different things going on is the kind of atmosphere that you want. At the same time, I was glad it was a really relaxed vibe. There's something nice about that when you can just kind of make your own fun and do that kind of stuff as well. Kind of go where you want. They have a number of great like snack options and food options and drink options. If I was a drinker, I would have been in heaven. There was places to get a little bit of the bubbly. There was places to get different kinds of booze. Definitely a good time was had by people who were there, particularly if you'd gotten a bunch of autograph signings. But they also had three lines going simultaneously for meet and greets that didn't cost you a dime if you didn't want to, and they had a schedule of people too. At one point, I asked the kids, did they want to meet the acclaimed? They didn't really want to. They seemed like they wanted to go, so I sort of followed their lead and went. But you could have met Red Velvet or the Acclaimed or Bear Country, um, Varsity Blondes. You could have met and other people. So Top Flight, I remember that name being there. So I would say that the Fan Fest is definitely a good bridge between a Friday and the Sunday pay-per-view, and a smart thing to do. And it fostered a number of engendered good feelings, which I think is important as well as AEW continues to march forward. Tomorrow, though, is the pay-per-view. My friend Vanessa has VIP seats, so we'll be able to get there early. Um, I have to hook up with the person who's hooking me up with tickets, and we have to figure all of that out. But I don't think that'll be much of a problem. The Omni is much closer than where we're staying now to the venue. In any case, I'm going to go ahead and file this one. This is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling, and I'm sure one of my kids is going to come over and say something, so might as well go ahead and do it. If you're going to do it now.
Hey, losers! If you think an exotic pet is just a tiger or something, then get a crab! Get a crab!
If you think it.
Crustacean!
Crustacean. I like that one.
Hashtag Crustacean if you get a pet
Mike,
crustacean. Follow me
Mike,
on Instagram.
you don't have an Instagram.
I will!
my, my kid really does love that pet crab called Gold. We should all be so lucky, I suppose, in some way, shape, or form. In any case, this has been Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling, with the All Elite Weekend War Journal.